Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Kevin, and welcome you to another video in the NCAA SuperCup. This video will be all about the semifinals and the final. Of course, the last video I did was about the previews to the quarterfinals and then the round 16 review. So, our first quarterfinal was the Cotton Bowl between Bama and USC, two very proud schools of the 70s and all that. Bama's road, they were 1 seed. They took care of Miami of Ohio 33-14. Then at the Compass Bowl, they beat SMU 35-14. And then they beat UCF 38-31 at the Capital One Bowl, which was close, but UCF had kind of an advantage. It was in Orlando. USC, on the other hand, were the 6 seeds. They took care of Wyoming 42-21. They took care of the 3 seed Ohio State Buckeyes 38-25 in Indianapolis. And they crushed Oklahoma and Fine Powder in Jacksonville 38-7. So, looking at the numbers, you probably think that USC would probably beat Bama. Well, Bama and USC had a fantastic finish. We haven't really had too many fantastic finishes. We had 2 in the first round, but then other than the last 2 rounds, we haven't had any fantastic finishes. We've had close calls and last-second field goals, but I don't think it counts as a fantastic finish. Regardless, Bama and USC played a tough-as-nails game. It was 27-22 Bama with a few seconds left. USC was down at the 1-yard line with 6 seconds left, and Reggie Bush tried to push his way into the end zone, and unfortunately, he missed. So that means that Alabama will be going to the semifinals of the tournament. USC feels terrible, but Bama is trying to win their first title. And who will Bama face? Well, it was the winner of Michigan against Oregon. Michigan, the 1 seed in the Rose Bowl bracket, took care of North Texas 35-21. Took care of Kentucky 14-0 at the Little Caesars Bowl, and took care of Washington 24-17 at the Outback Bowl in Tampa. Whereas Oregon, the 3 seed, took care of San Diego 41-14. Then went to the Liberty Bowl and crushed San Jose in the Fine Powder 45-10. And then took care of the 7 seed Texas Longhorns at the Holiday Bowl by a score of 22-12. So it was actually a tooth-and-nail game, kind of like SC and Bama, like multiple touchdowns and then needing to go for 2 to try to do it. Oregon this time did their job, and Michigan was going down the field for the tying field goal at worst. But unfortunately, Tom Brady threw a massive stupid pass, and Oregon shocks Michigan and will be going to the semifinals. Again, Michigan falls at the quarterfinal hurdle. So it will be Bama versus Oregon, and Bama will be the home team by proxy because of their seeding. All right. Flipping, well, I guess I'll show you the thing. I know. It scribbles and all that, but you can see. All right. So let's go to the Sugar Bowl bracket. Now, the Sugar Bowl bracket saw North Carolina and Mississippi State, the 2 misfits, if you will, in the quarterfinals. These 2 don't really have much of a football school pedigree, unless you're from North Carolina and Mississippi State, and I apologize. North Carolina got the 4 seed and took care of number 13 Kansas State 35-12. Faced off against Cincy in the Belk Bowl and beat them 27-10, and then beat Louisville in a tight match at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl 28-24. Their opponent in New Orleans were Mississippi State, who at the 10th seed faced Boise and beat them by 6. Then beat UCLA at the famous Potato Bowl 21-17, and then at the Sun Bowl narrowly beat South Carolina 27-24. So Mississippi State going into this game had only won their 3 games by a total of 13 points, which is unbelievable. Yeah, I didn't say the numbers for Michigan and Oregon, but Oregon had scored 108 points in 3 games and only gave up 36. Michigan scored far less. But anyway, yeah. We won by that system. North Carolina versus Mississippi State. North Carolina had a plus 44 score, and Mississippi State plus 13. But, North Carolina, it was a tight game. North Carolina playing without Carlton Bailey, who's out for the tournament with injury, their defensive tackle. It was a seesaw battle, fitting of a quarterfinal. And in the end, as bad as it was, with Mississippi State losing Mike Leach, unfortunately, the dream falls short, as UNC wins 34-31. UNC had been to the first 3 tournaments in 15, 16, 17, and got KO'd in the first round. Now, 6 years later, they're finally back in the tournament, and they're in the Final Four. They're definitely the Cinderella team. North Carolina, the good news is they look good. The bad news is they face Clemson. That's right, Clemson. The 1 seed in the Orange Bowl bracket, who crushed Middle Tennessee 35-7, hung on against Baylor in the New Mexico Bowl 27-21, and had to go through double overtime with Fresno at the Hawaii Bowl. Took on Purdue, who, as a 14th seed, they qualified late. Went to Tennessee, shocked the Vols 27-17, went to the GoDaddy Bowl and crushed Toledo 49-28, and in the Mystic City Bowl, beat us 34-14. So Purdue had scored 110 points and given up 59. So yeah, so Purdue scored 10 more than Clemson. But in the end, Clemson was too much. The quarterfinal, that really wasn't a quarterfinal. Clemson pounded on Purdue 35-14. I just wonder how bad we would have had it against Clemson if we had to go to the quarterfinals. But yeah, better Purdue than us, I guess. So the Final Four will be North Carolina versus Clemson and Oregon versus Bama. So you have an SEC school, a Pac-12 school, and 2 ACC schools. Well, they're going head-to-head. Because Oregon and Bama were the first matchup to be determined, they will go first. They will do the afternoon Fiesta Bowl thing tomorrow, and the evening match will be North Carolina Clemson. And don't forget live coverage on December 31st at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, streaming coverage of the final between any one of those 4 teams. It would be amazing if North Carolina qualifies. I know Clemson won the 2019 tournament. Oregon has never gone to a semifinal, and Alabama is trying to maybe get revenge for 2019 because they were down 24-0 and almost tied it up against Clemson. Bama will want revenge on Clemson. It'll be an interesting matchup. And, for how bad the Pac-12 is, Oregon seems to walk like a duck, talk like a duck. I know this is a shorter video, but you got 4 matches. So, anyway, also today, to be released just before the semifinals, we will take a look at some of the greatest created schools and their runs. We have Dakota State, Cleveland State, and Empire State all making quote-unquote runs. And you'll see all those videos, of all their key matchups and all that, the game footage. And of course, Canada State today. You'll see Canada State's run to the Sweet 16. Anyway, that's it. And don't forget that on December 30th, there will be a video showing all the moments from the finals from 2015 to 2022 and to hype you up for 2023. It should be great and lit, y'all. Anyway.